Have you ever wondered why you can't put your smartphone down? Could it be that you're feeling lonely? Recently, a study has revealed an intriguing link between loneliness and addictive smartphone use, particularly among adolescents. This research comes in the wake of growing concerns about digital addiction, a pressing issue acknowledged by the American Psychiatric Association and the World Health Organization. But what exactly is addictive smartphone use? Well, it's a pattern of behavior that's compulsive, excessive, and hard to control, despite causing negative consequences to the user's everyday life, health, and well-being. Think about it. Do you find yourself spending an excessive amount of time on your smartphone, ignoring essential activities? Do you experience withdrawal symptoms when you can't use your device, or find that you need to use it more and more for satisfaction? If so, you might be experiencing addictive smartphone use. This new study, conducted by Alexandra Maftai and her colleagues at Alexandru Ioan Cuza University, delves deeper into the factors contributing to this phenomenon. They focused on loneliness, self-esteem, boredom proneness, and the need to belong, with the aim to better understand and prevent such behaviors. The research involved 357 adolescents from 10 public schools in northeastern Romania, ranging in age from 12 to 19 years. Using various scales, they assessed addictive smartphone use, loneliness, self-esteem, boredom proneness, and the need to belong. What did they find? A significant direct relationship between loneliness and addictive smartphone use. That means feelings of isolation are associated with adolescents engaging more frequently with their smartphones. They also found that self-esteem and boredom proneness were significant mediators in this relationship. So, what does all this mean? It suggests that our smartphones might not just be devices we use to stay connected with the world. They might be tools we use to cope with feelings of loneliness. If we're feeling isolated, we might turn to our smartphones more often, potentially leading to addictive behavior. It seems our smartphones might not just be tools for communication, but a coping mechanism for loneliness. But loneliness isn't the only player in this game of smartphone addiction. Our self-esteem also takes a front seat in this complex interplay. Picture self-esteem as a personal gauge of worthiness. It's the way we perceive ourselves, and it heavily influences our interactions with the world. Now, let's weave this into the narrative of smartphone addiction. Adolescents who experience higher levels of loneliness tend to report lower self-esteem. It's like a domino effect. Feelings of isolation can erode one's self-worth, creating a shaky foundation for their self-perception. This uncertainty can often manifest as a reliance on external validation, and smartphones conveniently offer a trove of it. Likes, comments, shares. They all provide a quick, albeit fleeting, boost to one's self-esteem. The more we rely on these digital affirmations, the more we tend to engage with our smartphones. It's a cycle that feeds itself. The lower the self-esteem, the greater the need for external validation, and the more addictive the smartphone use becomes. But remember, it's not merely about the quantity of engagement. It's about the quality. Adolescents with lower self-esteem might spend hours scrolling through social media, constantly comparing themselves to others. This comparison can further lower their self-esteem, pushing them deeper into the cycle of excessive smartphone use. It's like quicksand. The struggle to keep up with the digital Joneses can pull us further into the depths of smartphone addiction. It's a trap that's easy to fall into, especially for those whose self-esteem is already on shaky ground. But here's the twist. Smartphones aren't the villains in this narrative. They're tools, and like any tool, their impact depends on how we use them. They can be gateways to knowledge, creativity, and connection, or they can be catalysts for addictive behavior, depending on our approach. So, it's crucial to recognize this correlation between self-esteem and smartphone addiction. Understanding this relationship can be the first step towards breaking the cycle and fostering healthier digital habits. Because at the end of the day, our self-worth should not be dictated by the number of likes on a screen. So, the lower the self-esteem, the higher the risk of smartphone addiction. And what about when you're just bored? Can boredom lead to smartphone addiction too? Let's dive into the fascinating world of boredom proneness. It's a significant mediator between loneliness and smartphone addiction. You might be wondering, what exactly is boredom proneness? Well, it's a tendency to experience boredom frequently. People with high boredom proneness find it tough to engage with their environment and often feel unexcited, unstimulated, and restless. Researchers have found that adolescents who feel lonelier are more prone to boredom. Imagine this: you're alone, maybe you're feeling isolated and there's nothing to do. You can't go out, there's nothing exciting happening around you, and you're stuck in your thoughts. All these factors can lead to a heightened sense of boredom. And what's the easiest way to escape this boredom? It's usually right there in your pocket or your hand, your smartphone. Smartphones are like mini entertainment hubs. They've got games, social media, videos, and so much more. They offer an easy escape from the mundane reality, a quick fix to the boredom problem. This is where the connection between boredom proneness and smartphone addiction comes in. The study found that this boredom proneness directly links to higher levels of addictive smartphone use among adolescents. So, the lonelier you are, the more prone you are to boredom, which increases the likelihood of you seeking solace in your smartphone. It's a bit like a domino effect, isn't it? But remember, using your smartphone isn't inherently bad. It's only when the usage becomes compulsive, excessive, and difficult to control that it turns into a problem. If you're using your phone to the detriment of essential activities, experiencing withdrawal symptoms when you can't use it, or you find it hard to cut down usage despite recognizing its negative impacts, then it's worth taking a step back and reevaluating. So, next time you reach for your phone out of boredom, consider what that might mean. It's not just about killing time. It could be a sign of something deeper, something that needs your attention. Understanding the link between loneliness, boredom proneness, and smartphone addiction can help us navigate our digital lives more healthily. Now let's talk about something that affects us all: the need to belong. This inherent desire to feel accepted, to fit in, to be part of a group, is as old as humanity itself. It's wired into our DNA, a survival instinct from our days as hunter-gatherers, when being part of a tribe meant the difference between life and death. Today, it manifests in different ways, and one of them, intriguingly, is our relationship with our smartphones. In the context of addictive smartphone use, this need to belong plays a moderating role between boredom proneness and the compulsion to constantly check our phones. Let's break that down. Boredom proneness refers to the susceptibility to feel bored, to crave novelty and stimulation. When this is coupled with the high need to belong, the impact on smartphone use becomes significantly stronger. Think about it this way. You're feeling a bit bored, a bit restless. You're looking for something to do, something to occupy your mind. Suddenly your phone pings. It's a notification from a social media app. Instantly, your attention is captured. It's a quick and easy way to feel connected, to feel like you're part of something. That's the need to belong in action, driving you to engage with your smartphone. But what happens when this becomes a pattern? When the quick check turns into minutes, then hours spent scrolling through feeds, liking posts, and responding to comments. This is where the risk of addictive smartphone use comes into play. The more we rely on our smartphones to fulfill our need to belong, the stronger the habit becomes, and the harder it is to break. It's important to note that the need to belong isn't a bad thing. On the contrary, it's a fundamental part of being human. But when it starts to dictate our behavior to the point of potential harm, it's worth taking a step back. So, what's the takeaway here? Understanding the role of the need to belong in our smartphone use can help us navigate our digital lives in a healthier, more balanced way. By recognizing when we're using our phones as a crutch for social connection, we can start to develop more sustainable habits and find other ways to fulfill our need to belong. it seems our need to belong might be leading us to spend more time on our smartphones. So, what does all this mean for us, and how can we break the cycle of smartphone addiction? The research has shone a light upon the intricate pathways leading from loneliness to addictive smartphone use. It's evident that self-esteem and boredom proneness are significant mediators, with the need to belong acting as a magnifying factor. But why is this important? Because it highlights the root causes of smartphone addiction, and understanding these causes is the first step towards effective prevention and intervention. In the face of loneliness, smartphones may seem like a comforting escape, but the excessive use can lead to a harmful cycle, damaging our well-being and further isolating us from real-life social interactions. So, what can we do about it? One possible solution lies in fostering real-life social interactions. Encouraging adolescents to engage in group activities and face-to-face socializing can help combat feelings of loneliness and reduce the reliance on smartphones for a sense of belonging. Another effective strategy could involve promoting physical activities. These not only provide a distraction from smartphones, but also contribute to improved mental health and self-esteem. Whether it's a team sport, dance, or simply going for a walk, physical activity can work wonders in reducing the pull of that little screen. As for boredom proneness, it's about finding meaningful activities to engage in. This could be anything from learning a new skill, volunteering, or getting involved in a hobby. The key is to keep the mind stimulated and engaged in a way that a smartphone simply can't replicate. Lastly, promoting healthy self-esteem among adolescents is crucial. This can be achieved through positive reinforcement, encouraging self-expression, and providing support in times of failure or difficulty. With stronger self-esteem, the need for validation through likes and comments on a smartphone screen diminishes. In conclusion, it's clear that tackling smartphone addiction requires a multifaceted approach. It's not enough to simply limit screen time. Remember, it's not just about putting down your phone, but understanding why you're picking it up in the first place.